Hi, yeah. I thought I'd do a quick video to reflect a bit on Lauren's talk yesterday and hope it's helpful in the small groups, just to help you catch up or to recap a bit. So, the theme was what are we doing in the waiting? What to do in the wait, and which is a really valuable thing, isn't it? As we're waiting for the next thing to emerge, waiting for God to do something, maybe in our own lives, we're waiting for the next thing to happen. And of course, the danger is that we're constantly living our lives in the future rather than living for the now and missing the elaborate and beautiful things that God is doing now. Was that the phrase that Lauren used? Something like that. And she pointed to three people in Scripture who help us to do well in the wait. And the first one was Joshua and the walls of Jericho when they kept moving. They kept blowing their trumpets. They moved around. They didn't quite understand why. They didn't understand what the purpose it was. There might have been questions about why they should do this, but there was an obedience in the waiting that kept them moving. And I love that. I think God has already given us so many things to do, to be getting on with, ways of living that we need to be doing, even though we're treading water a bit, it feels, or standing still a bit. But they kept moving, kept going, and obeyed the Lord. So that was Joshua. Then there was Hannah, Hannah who regularly went to the temple, and in the temple she was ridiculed, and because nothing was happening for her, she was still waiting, and yet in that time she prayed and prayed fervently, to the extent that the Eli the priest thought that she was drunk. And it's again a really nice picture, beautiful picture really, of a persistence in prayer and a desire to keep these our needs before the Lord, and to be opening ourselves up to what God is doing. So that was Hannah. And then the third one was Jesus. Jesus, who in the 30 years before he started his public ministry, was ministering. He was teaching in the temple, we're told, when he was 12 years old, in that nice little story we have of Jesus getting lost and spending his time with the teachers in the temple, arguing, teaching, asking questions mainly. And so this, then they were amazed at his teaching, and he was exercising his gifts in the waiting for his 30th year, when he was able to be released into ministry. And Lauren also picked up on the idea of Joseph doing the prophetic stuff in prison, interpreting the dreams for his fellow cellmates there, as he was practicing his gifts in the prison, and using the gifts that God had given him in the meantime. So yeah, a few helpful things about what to do in the wait, and I'm sure you'll have a good time as you talk about these things and answer some of the questions about what you're waiting for. Lawrence provided the questions, so that's really helpful. Okay, see you in a bit. Have a good night. Bye bye.